pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We all have a copy of the minutes preceding meeting. Is there any additions or corrections?
Move the minutes be accepted as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, the minutes be approved as presented. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Department head reports. Mr. Haviland?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
We've been trying to mow the roadsides. As you can see, we're not having much headway with it. We've got our number 14 tractor back from Miller Equipment over in Rushville and got it back, got the hydraulics working, and we got it back in there. Something went around the transmission in, so it's sitting back in the garage. It's just with this older equipment, it's just hard to keep it on the roads. They're ordering parts for it, and we're going to fix it down there at the garage. But it just
What broke down isn't what they fixed, right?
do what?
What broke down now isn't what they
No,
fixed.
it was something different. Something in the train. We fixed had the hydraulics fixed because it always surged going down the road. And they took the cab off and went in and fixed all that. And we had them come over because we thought maybe they had done something to cause the transmission to do it. But at the detent springs, it all went out on the side of the transmission. They got to tear it apart and go in there and fix that. It's just because
How old is that?
it's a 95, and our other one's a 90, and it's constantly back in the garage too. But with old equipment, you're just going to have that. And bush cutter, we're trying not to use it as much as, because with all the problems we've been having with it. But
And we still haven't heard any more from,
I haven't heard anything out of them people on that machine. I had Barton come down, they come down and demonstrated a different type of machine for cutting bushes and other, they had all kinds of attachments with it. But they have never quoted us a price on it, so we don't know what it's gonna cost.
that's what bothers me. I asked them a half a dozen times what that thing cost. They didn't want to say.
And they didn't want the tractor. They were vocal about that. They didn't want no trade-in on it, just the way it goes.
Yeah.
But we're getting ready to start our chip sealing, but we'll probably wait till after the bicentennial's over, so we're not out there on the roads when they're running around looking at the
Barn quilts.
barn quilts.
Right.
That way we won't be in the way for that. But we're gonna keep trying to get the roadside mowed and what roads we can patch before they get out on to do that.
Okay.
I've got a question for the attorney. We've got some trees out in the roads and it's in areas where people have complained about not wanting them cut. Do we just go ahead and cut them if they're not trimming them back, or?
Yeah, if they're actually grown over the road, if they're a hazard.
Because I've had complaints called in about them in different
Yeah,
areas.
if you, Jay, think that they're a hazard on the road and they're certainly obstructing the free flow of traffic, you think they're dangerous, feel free to cut them.
Okay.
Now, that's not to say though, if the.
No, if we go out to trim them, we will take the truck and
Use your
install them.
discretion, okay?
Yeah. That bush cutter is not, it doesn't do a pretty job when you go down there with it. We will do it with saw and pruners and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure,
Okay.
just go ahead and do it. Okay. Oh, and the soapbox derby committee come down, I can't think of his name right now.
John Posey.
He come down yesterday and he wants us to close the road Friday evening before we quit. And leave it closed for the duration of the whole time while they're doing that, because they're gonna put tents up and they got food carts put up and everything like that out there, and they're just gonna leave them up for the 2 days and it's up. I just want to let you know we would close it before 3:30, if it's all right with the commissioner.
Well, we can't hardly rain on their parade, but if Daryl could put that in the paper and give people a little notice.
Yeah, and we will put
That's-
lights on all of our barricades and everything so they can see them at night, so nobody runs into them, and make sure everything's lit up so they can see them.
Yeah.
What time, Jake? 3:30?
We'll have them closed by 3:30, we'll close them right before quitting time.
The roads, the Ziegler Road.
Ziegler Road.
Ziegler Road.
Because I think they're putting a tent right up in the middle of the road for their main tent for checking people in, doing whatever they do with the qualifications and all that stuff on the time. They're putting it right up in the middle of the road, and they sure don't want nobody to drive through it.
Jay, will there be one lane open versus?
No. Well, we'll
No,
call
they can come
911
in.
and tell them.
They can come in from
If they have to get.
Gray Road.
Yeah, if they have to get to the church at the top, they come in from Gray Road, to get
Right.
good.
Yeah, and those
Because
people.
we'll have those staggered up there so they can come down and get to the church.
Both lanes will be closed.
Yes,
And the church is okay with that?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've evidently been working with them on this, because
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
been letting them park up there. and
Yeah, I
everything
talked to
else.
Richard last weekend. They're fine with that, so.
Jay, I will get with the 911 director, make sure she notifies the fire departments and emergency services. That way they won't go to make a turn and have to slam on the brakes.
That'd be a plus, because we usually call when we close something like that anyway.
She can announce the fire departments on their beepers and everything, so.
Yeah, and there she is.
That's all I had, unless you gentlemen have something for me.
No, thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bill Gray,
What you doing?
morning.
I don't have a whole lot. I want to update you on the leak upstairs. Kevin came down from Johnson and we went through there, looked at it. It's not going to be a big deal, I don't think, to actually fix it. It's getting to it. I didn't realize the new filing system that they put in this room above us is all the way across the floor. There's no way we can get any scaffolding in there to even get up to the piping. And the only concern Kevin had was the actual leak in the joint that's closest to the boiler, which is at that end of the room. And if we get up there and start moving that pipe and we break a joint down here, we're not going to look
Which
good.
is very possible, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, we can be as careful as possible, but you're gonna have to turn that pipe and move it to get it loose. And if we break a joint down here, it's gonna be almost impossible to get to it because of the filing system. The only way we saw is maybe come in with a 3/4 inch plywood, cover the whole top of that cabinet, where we can distribute the weight, where we can get a ladder up there. That's the only way we see. He's gonna work us up some kind of ballpark quote to try to fix it. If you guys want to try just to fix this joint and be as careful as we can and see what happens, or
I think we ought to fix
I think we need,
what
yeah,
needs
I
fixing.
agree. I think we
Those
need to
just
go
piecing
ahead
it.
and,
We don't want to go through this same thing
No.
again next month.
no, because that's what I'm saying. If we fool with this one and get it loose, and then we crack it down there without seeing, put it back together, and then
No,
a month or so, you're gonna have it.
I say fix it right where we
Okay.
did.
All right, so I'll just go ahead. He'll come back down. I've got the scaffolding lined up and everything that we can put it on one edge, but we can't get it over here at all. So
Okay.
I'll get with him and have him go ahead and give us some kind of figure of what it's gonna take.
Okay.
And we'll do as much as we possibly can in-house with putting up the scaffolding and helping with the pipe and everything we
And
do.
you've got the scaffolding rounded up.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, Dave Lay's gonna let me use the scaffolding.
good.
Who you
Dave
gonna
Lake.
get, who you gonna get set up with scaffolding?
We'll set it up, me and Jeff will set it up.
I think Miss Dudley there might have some people to help you
And that, yeah, to get it up here at least.
carry it up those
Yeah.
steps and everything like that, I'm
Well,
sure.
I think we might
sure
be
she
able to get
won't
it up
mind.
with
I'm
the
sorry.
elevator. We might be able to bring it up in the elevator because it'll be in pieces.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to carry it
but
up
still-
the steps, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
Ben Houston, IT Director.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Jim.
Morning, Ben.
The only thing I have for you this morning is from 911. The city of Connersville made the decision end of last year to move all of their phone systems to what's called VoIP, or Voice over IP. This has kind of put us in a position where we have to make some changes with the 911 recording software. The current recording server is only for analog phone lines, and to have the ability to continue recording calls through the way we currently do it, we need to upgrade that equipment. So the proposal you have in front of you is from Terry Bennett, 911 Director. Along with that is a quote from her vendor that is currently doing the recording software. I believe the total on that is $19,024. Terry has indicated to me that there's plenty of funds in the 911 wireless account to cover this. We would obviously need an additional appropriation from council to appropriate that money, but I wanted to get this in front of you guys so we could talk about it.
We just have one quote.
Right now, yes. It's a situation where there's not a lot of people in this area that do this kind of recording equipment. We could try to get a couple more for you, but to find a truly comparable quote, it's proven difficult to do.
If we could, I think it would be prudent.
Sure.
We can't, you can't talk to council until next month anyway.
Right.
And we'll have a meeting before that.
And this recording software that the proposal is in front of you, and it's fine, we'll get some more quotes, but the current recorder that we have, we leased, and then we purchased it for $1 at the end of 5 years. We still have another year payment on that. With that year payment on there, that is gonna help alleviate some of the warranty on this new system. So, you know, I was kinda gonna ask that today, if you, I mean, we're gonna scrap the 3,000 something payment a year that we still have remaining on our current system, because this will build upon it.
Right.
So if we go with a completely new vendor, completely new system, everything that we currently have will change.
Well,
It's going to be a complete different setup. But
yeah, and I appreciate that, but my point being, I think we ought to go the extra mile and see what we can find and see what the lease cost is with one way or another. We have 2 weeks to do that because you can't talk to council until the July meeting anyway.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right, right.
If we don't do that, Terry, it may very well be kicked back to us by the council. We'll have to, might as well go ahead and get it done now.
And that's fine, but our reasoning for doing it is because we still have that payment on our other
Right.
one and not eat it,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I
That's
understand.
fine, that's fine.
So as far as the 19,020, it's in wireless, there's no additional appropriations, it's already there.
The money is there. The money would have to be appropriated into a budget line item, as I understand it. But the money is sitting there, yes. The other thing that this recording software does, I believe this set this up for 911 texting, which we are currently
what?
not, 911 texting, where people will be able to use their cell phones to text to 911. This new system will also set us up for recording those messages coming in, which is obviously important. So,
Okay.
from a tech standpoint, looking over the quote, I'm happy with their numbers. Obviously, we'll get you some more quotes for some comps, but I wanted to get that guy in front of you guys as soon as we could. So,
Okay,
unless you have any other questions for me, that's all I have for you today.
okay. Thanks, Ben.
All right, thank you.
County Attorney, AJ.
Okay, I have two things from last meeting, actually. One is the SRI Incorporated contract. Deb gave this to me last, let's say the last one. I reviewed the contract, everything was fine. It's not very long, so I actually probably could have done that at the meeting. Anyway, I give my hearty approval.
I think isn't it kind of an addendum to our master contract or something?
Yes, it is, actually. So that's why it's only 3 pages long. But it's just a tax sale support services program, correct?
Yes.
So anyway, I'll pass that back to you guys.
What they do is, well, and then this allows them to have our annual tax sale, which will be in October. And then they also have support online to where we go in if you have someone that is redeeming their property that's been sold on tax sale, then it calculates the cost for us.
So that will, and that's actually not, your approval of that's not on the new business. Oh, it is actually, yes,
I did have, yeah.
Nice job, Deb. This is not on the agenda, and it's the ordinance amending the fee schedule at the health department for birth certificates. This was brought up at the last meeting. And essentially, it's asking, they made the new ordinance at their meeting, and they submitted it to you guys, because you would actually have to be the ones who approve the ordinance as though it came from your hand, okay? So, they raised the prices from $10 to $15, I believe, on birth certificates. And I don't remember the lovely lady's name who works there.
Terry Cochran.
There we go. Terry said the reason why they were raising this price was because they lost some revenue otherwise. And I don't remember if this was from a grant stream or,
I think it was, huh?
I don't remember exactly. It was at the end of the meeting and
yeah. Anyway, they've lost revenue, and this is to replace that revenue. I've looked at the Indiana code on this, and I don't see why you guys can't do this as an ordinance. The only problem is, I think procedurally now, because it's not on the agenda, and it was actually introduced at the last meeting, there still needs to be public discussion on this for the next meeting before approval.
I do have a question. Because there is money involved, I mean, because it sets a fee, is that something that council approves instead of commissioners?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I wasn't sure, to tell you the truth, because we haven't done this.
Yeah, this, no, and I'll tell you why I believe so. Just simply the executive body would just be approving this, so.
Okay. But we need to set it for the next meeting.
Yeah, set it for next meeting, and it'll need to be set for public comment as well.
Okay.
All right, I'll hand that around for you. Next is, Debbie, there's been a lot of discussion, and I guess I direct it toward you specifically because you're the one who takes notes, and you're also the one who does the legwork on these RFQs. Barton had mentioned the ad, and it got a lot of traction at the county council meeting the other night about existing buildings in Fayette County that could be used for the new highway garage. So Barton came to me and asked, well, we know what the procedure is as far as RFQs for wanting to build a building. You need an RFQ for the architect, somebody design the building, and then get the bidders in. But what about RFQs for available buildings? And I've simply said, well, that it needs to be as transparent as possible, and it's not really an RFQ, it's just a bidding procedure. So I think, and again, it would have to be, it's not me who says it, it would be voted on by the commissioners to, I believe, publish an ad in the Connersville paper, the News Examiner.
Just a legal ad?
Yeah. Asking for bids, and it's going to have to be certain recommendations. Barton ballparked it at 20,000 square footage, which is what we need to be had in the building. Minimum height of 22 feet. These are just common sense things to get a truck in there. And
20,000 square feet and what
20
height?
22-foot height.
And 20
yeah,
foot.
minimum 22-foot height.
Or at least, yeah, height.
And so if, I mean, I think, Barton, your idea was, well, let's keep this local, let's keep the building as local as possible, let's keep the materials, the resources in Fayette County, the money in Fayette County as much as possible. You had talked about having the high school out there, build it if you could.
Well, build a portion
Yeah.
of the interior if they could, yeah, whatever they could.
Right, but I think the council, well, the taxpayers in general, what Barton was saying, they want to make sure they're getting the best deal for the money. And if we have an existing building in Fayette County, then those people who are interested in selling it to the county, they can step forward, put their name in the hat too, instead of finding a parcel of property in the county and buying that also, and then building the building from the ground up. So, but because that's the situation, we want to make sure it's as transparent as possible.
So we need a motion to advertise for proposals for existing buildings. is what we
Yes. Yep.
need. I would entertain that we do that. Then we can know what's available and figure out whether it's better to build a new building or if there is an existing building that fit our needs.
So moved. Debbie, do you want me to word that out, or is that sufficient?
But she knows what we're talking
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we advertise for proposals for existing buildings for highway garage, meeting our specifications. Is there any discussion of the commissioners? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'll add a little bit. There'll need to be fair market value on these properties. So if the county was going to purchase them, they would have to have
Appraisal.
an appraisal. Correct. And I think that's all we got.
Okay.
Is there a land, like an acreage that is requirement?
Well, we'll take all the proposals, but we have 9 acres down there, part of which is a hillside, but I would think that, well, we've had proposals for one building as low as 2 acres, and if we did that, we would have to keep our place down there and maintain our stockpile of stuff down there. But I'd say we really just accept whatever proposals we can find and go from there. As long as it has the building that would meet our needs. That's it, AJ?
That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Council Representative, Shirley, you got anything for us this morning?
Nothing new.
Okay. Mail, Debbie?
Well, and I also got something in after the agenda was prepared from Pitney Bowes. We currently have the postage meter that's in the clerk's, that's located in the clerk's office, and that all departments use. We currently have that with Hassler, and then it's funny. There's 2 different companies involved. What's the other one, Sharon? It's Hassler and Neopost, where then we have to buy the chips or whatever for the postage, and every time the rate raises, and we pay, what, a couple $100 or something. So this Bridget Blessing from Pitney Bowes, she asked for information from me on, and I sent her what it cost us last year, and she has sent back a proposal, and she's indicated that she can save us money overall because they don't charge additional for rate changes, and I haven't even had time to digest this yet, but I'll go ahead and get all you guys a copy of this so you can look at it before the next meeting, and then try to talk to
You'll have a
Melinda.
recommendation by next meeting.
Yeah, try to talk to Melinda. See, because it's up there, I thought that Melinda pretty much always dealt with it, but she said not necessarily, so I will talk to Melinda about this, and then I'll get you guys a copy so you can look at it and see.
Debbie, you know how much we pay now? Roughly?
Well, I sent her, let me see, does she include that in here? I didn't, it isn't included in what I sent her. Yeah, I do know, but, I don't have it with me.
Well, my point is, we've got you're using one postage meter for the whole courthouse, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
so we're currently spending about $220 per month on the current older mail equipment, which is the meter rental, the maintenance, and then rate changes.
That's an average, right?
Yeah.
But it goes way up when we send out tax statements and stuff.
No, tax statements do not run through this meter. They're imprinted.
Okay.
A postage permit, it's an imprint, and you just take X number down and take them a check, and, yeah.
And Debbie, let me interrupt it. One thing that we are considering though, again, is for the tax statements, a cost save for the department. So, but if in fact you're not using it now, it really wouldn't.
Wouldn't affect this, do you?
Yeah, it doesn't affect this.
Right.
The only time in the past that we had used a postage meter, if we mailed out a big group of tax statements, like, we used to mail them to the mortgage companies and such when I was treasurer. That was done away with in '07 when we went with LAO, because we can just transmit, it creates a bill, and we just email it to them. So that actually saved us postage at that point.
And there are other, again, cost-saving ideas that the treasurer's office is looking at, so that could help reduce that total postage number. But again, like Debbie said, the majority, the bulk,
Yeah.
would be affected by it, but we're looking for and have a proposal that would save a significant amount of money in the mailing of the statements too.
Yeah.
like
What-
Debbie says, you know, technology has helped us save money in a lot of ways. It's so important to stay up with the latest.
Now, how you do it, like, we would load money onto the postage machine, and Sharon keeps track of that when she goes up and mails out, like, when she sends the checks out to vendors, when you approve claims, she takes those up there, runs them through the postage meter, and then the postage meter track, you know, she keeps track of how much we used against ours, clerk keeps track of their, so every department pays for their own postage, but then the meter then gets paid for, you know, through the county general. So I'll make a copy of that. I got this in the mail yesterday, and Ann, and I can send you guys copies of that too. And Ann Frost had got a copy on Friday, and then Jerry come in and he had gotten the same thing. So I don't know whether they're going out to a lot of different elected officials. But what this is, it's from the State Personnel Department, and it is about health insurance. And I haven't even had time to go in. They have a website where you can go in, and they give benefit plan summaries and descriptions of coverage, so that could be an option as far as health insurance for the county. I have no clue anything about the rates or anything. I haven't even had time. So we will, what you need to do, if you're interested, you must complete an electronic 2014 questionnaire online, and then by July 12th, and then also by July 12th, you send them information about what we currently have, our census data, and age and gender of all our eligible participants, and our most recent insurance carrier bill, our current plan description, and the past 24 months claim information, which would be pretty ugly because our claims have been outpacing our premiums pretty bad.
By a big bunch.
Yeah.
Well, but we need to go ahead and do that, I would think, because this insurance is we're gonna get an increase, we know that,
Yeah.
pretty much. And
Yeah.
we're already at the top end of our budget on this, so if we can save some money, we're gonna have to do it.
Yeah. Now, we did, Nippon representatives, 2 representatives from Nippon and our insurance broker, Mr. Seekin, came in last Thursday and sat down with Barton and Shirley, and Kathy and I, and we discussed trying to kind of get ahead of what we talked about a little bit last meeting about the Affordable Care Act. And there are going to be some charges to the county. I mean, there's going to be like 3 to 4% of our premiums will be paid as like a tax.
There's 3 or 4 different charges
Yeah,
on there.
there's several different charges. So they are going to try to get us some kind of a, I don't know, kind of an estimate of what our cost would be by the 1st of August so that we can include that in the budget process.
So our costs are gonna go up?
Your co-
Well, yeah.
Your
If
cost
we-
is gonna go up because one thing, our experience is
Without that,
bad. I mean,
yeah, without the Affordable Care Act, we would go up.
we've got,
I thought it was all supposed to be good for us.
well, it isn't turning out that way. I mean, to start with, our claims are more than what our premiums are, and the insurance company don't like that very well.
I'm being sarcastic.
Yes, you are.
But we
Let
do,
me,
No.
but there's,
let me finish by saying, hi, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, I'm sorry. It aggravates the daylights out of me. We're having something shoved down our throats that nobody can afford, the nation as a whole, no matter what party or whatever you are. And
And it's
that's,
gonna hurt the employment situation. because-
it
Well,
sure
because
will.
people's hours are being cut because of the 30-hour benchmark, so.
Exactly right.
So I will look into this, and what I say is, we aren't, we wouldn't be signing up for anything. If we are interested
You have to fill
at
out that-
looking at it, we have to have this by July 12th. So I don't think we have anything to lose to go ahead
No,
and put in,
it's like everything else, we need
Yeah.
the quotes as many people as we can get.
yeah.
It's gonna be a job of getting that filled out, the way it sounds.
Well, this is, last year, when we looked at other companies, you wouldn't believe all of what they wanted
Right.
from us. So,
Yeah, basically, they want to know that they're not going to spend more money than what they're going to get.
pretty much, yeah. And Matt has, the other thing, I did get in the mail our State Board of Accounts audit that was done pretty much on everything through the auditor's office, and then the clerk's trust accounts and child support account and the sheriff's trust account, and all their accounts that they keep separately. And everything came back good. We had Shirley and Barton were there when we had an exit interview. The only thing in the report that says it was prepared in addition to the other official report prepared for the individual county office listed below, and that was the county treasurer. So the county treasurer is not included in this, and that's a supplemental audit. So I think that's all. That's all the mail I have. What Michelle came in with, and she said the state, the Department of Corrections lost the signed grant agreement. So we have to just sign, we have to sign another grant agreement for Community Corrections for her grant because they have lost it. And I guess maybe I do have a last thing, and I gave this to you. Crystal Logan, whose brother was killed in the train accident on 450 East. She brought this into me. She has been in contact with NDOT, and I guess she made an inquiry to the governor's office, and this is a response that she got from the governor's liaison to the Indiana Department of Transportation. So I gave you each a copy of that.
Any discussion on the mail? Okay.
Not yet.
We're going to old business, covered bridge, increase in cost. The bills come in higher than what they anticipated.
Yes, yeah, they did. And I'm trying to think, do I have it here with me? It came in, the paint costs were higher. Sharon, do you remember how much more that was when we got that bill? It was like $500 and some dollars. So if I could, there still is enough money. There was like $10,000 in the
Covered bridge fund.
yeah, in the covered bridge fund, and I thought I stuck that in here, and I guess I don't have it with me. Need me to, I can have Sharon go over and get that other.
We probably don't know the amount.
Yeah, we need to know what the amount is, so, or if, here in a minute, if you could, recess before we approve the claims, and I'll go find it. I'll go get that information.
Well,
She just went.
she'll get to
Okay.
this, yeah. We're taking this off of Barbara Cooper, right?
Yeah, she's not gonna be
Okay.
here.
New business SRA contract, AJ has already addressed that and given his endorsement to what the contract says, what's the wishes of the commissioners.
Hang on, I'm trying to find it.
Here.
SRI did they did a bang-up job for me when I was sheriff, doing sheriff sales, and I'm assuming the same can be said of them doing tax sales.
I don't think we have any complaints at all on this.
No, we really don't.
They do good work.
No.
They do very good work. I don't have a problem with it.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the,
I'll let, he wants to look at it for a second. So moved.
Second.
been moved and seconded to approve the SRI contract. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. And then recording equipment, we've already taken care of that.
I do have one other thing that I had put it on up there and we didn't discuss it at the highway.
Oh,
Release of the road cut bond, which Jay has signed off on. It was for the Everton Water Corp.
We got a new road cut.
Well, they had one, this was, I'm trying to think when this was. It was Kuhn Excavating that did the work to repair a water leak, and this was first recorded back in November of 12 was when it was first, and we're holding a $300 check from them, making sure that the road was put back to the highway satisfaction. And Jay has signed off to release the bond.
Okay.
And they did it last year when we had different commissioners, so I will have to change a couple of those.
Or I'll have
We'll
to
have to-
forward Richie's name or something.
Well, you actually are on here. The
Yeah.
other two will have to forward somebody's name, so.
I'd entertain a motion, we approve release of the bond, the work's already done, and Jay says it's satisfactory.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded, we release the bond. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Patrons' concerns. Anybody got anything you want to say? We are down to approval of claims and payroll, and we'll adjourn, and well, until we get the information.
Okay. Here's the total on everything. And I think you approved, do we have the minutes from last meeting? Or, no, they were the meeting before. I can't get to my past minutes. It was like, what was it?
Well, we can
Does
get-
somebody have do you have your past minutes? Could you look those minutes up where they approved that? It wasn't at the last meeting, I think it was the meeting before last, and when Mike Bottomley came. And these
It
total,
was last meeting, wasn't it?
I think it was the one before
What's she
last.
talking about?
And
Huh?
What's she talking about?
The May 21st meeting?
The
Yeah.
covered bridge.
Do you have yours? Okay, so Sharon's going from that. Covered bridge, you approved, total cost including paint is $45,8979. Let me see what this is gonna be. It came to $4,998.11. You know what isn't in here? There was also a $500 and some bill from Willie Well, so that really isn't right. She had already paid that one at the past. You may have it. In fact, you probably have that one in to pay today. Do you have your claims to be paid today? Because it's probably in there. tell you when you're doing, we did yesterday get the bill on the 2 sheriff's cars, trucks, they finally came in.
Yeah, there's a little bit last day too.
Yeah. Hold on a second, let me find, this is. Right here, 563.20. For a grand total of $5,561.31. I found it, I did find it, Sharon, I'm so sorry.
So we need to approve an additional claim of how much?
5,561.31 minus 4589.79. Additional of $971.52.
That money does come from a special covered bridge fund. I would entertain a motion that we pay the additional $971.52. That'll take care of the whole bill.
My biggest thing is just someone's $971.52 that the gentleman from the Parks Department was in here and came in here and asked us about spending the money. And he's not here today. And that's just my biggest issue with being able to come in and explain an additional almost $1,000. And on top of that, but
It's kind of after the fact.
right, well,
It's kinda
After the fact of
too,
this,
it's already done.
everything's been
right,
committed.
and that's my problem.
Yeah, I know, it is a problem.
You wanna wait and have him come explain?
I mean, I know the money's there, but it's just a crossroad.
We can.
Did we have that somewhere broken down? I mean, I know the paint was more expensive, but the paint, Sherwin-Williams was $1320.61. Then
But-
there was, I think this might be the additionals. A part of the additional, part is in paint, but the other is in Lay's wiring. There's a bill
why don't
for
we do that?
$467.50.
I'd rather see.
Can
I
we
agree
just
with him.
hold this off till next month, have Mike come in? Because I agree with Zane, if you're getting quotes, then we ought to know what we're getting quotes on.
I don't know that this was, do you remember any wiring being included when we discussed it last time?
Well-
It was a very brief discussion.
The only thing they did talk about, they talked about security cameras, but I don't remember if that was the last meeting or the meeting before that. They would have to run wiring for that, I know.
Yeah, I think we talked about the $3,100 on David Isaacs doing the work, and then material, which would be 500 foot of wood siding, which is the $563 bill from Wells, and then paint. And I think that's the thing that was left out, was the wiring. Do you want to,
Well, we're gonna meet in 2 weeks, it's gonna hurt
Okay.
anything, just leave the whole thing go.
okay.
Let's just put that on the agenda and ask Mr. Bottomley to come and explain what happened.
Well, you approved the $3,100 for this guy that did the work. I
Right.
hate to hold up a small contractor.
Right.
You know, if we could go ahead and pay Mr. Isaacs the $3,100 and pay
We can pay everything but
Wells.
the additional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Part of the additional would be in Sherwin-Williams and Lay's wiring.
That's the only
So
thing
we'll
we're
hold,
concerned about.
if we could hold those two bills,
Right.
would that be okay?
All right.
I will move to pay the, everything except for the additional.
$971.52.
Thank you.
Second.
Been moved and second to approve the payment with the original amount of money. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. That's all we got, right?
Seems to me like we're forgetting something, but I'm not sure what it is. I think that's it.
That's it, right? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Call claims?
Well, I thought we done that even with that,
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
did we not?
What's that?
We approved the claims and payroll with that last motion, did we not?
Oh, no, I thought you only approved the
Okay.
covered bridge thing.
Well, I was including everything.
Motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Okay, we'll approve the rest of the bills, claims and payroll. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
The sheriff's trucks are here.
The sheriff's trucks are here.
Well, I don't know whether they have them. They have come into Reedman's. I don't know whether they have them yet or not.
Yes, they do.
Oh, do they?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
I had somebody call me and ask me about that.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved, second, we adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
I
Meeting
know-
is adjourned.
I just now remember what.